Hey everybody! Today we're going to be playing Plants vs. Zombies. Now, this was originally released as a mobile game, but I'm going to be playing the 360 version of it. Now, this is a game that I have played quite a bit of, but I want to do something a little bit more lighthearted today. For anyone who doesn't know what Plants vs. Zombies is, it's basically a tower defense game where you have an area that you're going to try to protect from zombies getting into. So you use your plants as your defense. They're your weapons, your cannons, your... If you ever played a tower defense game where you're trying to protect a castle or a building or something from an attacking force. In this game, the attacking force are zombies, and you fight the zombies using the power of plants. Now, as you see from the sky, the sun falls, and you collect the sunlight to give you energy so you can plant more plants. Now, this first level is basically just a tutorial, where that's why you only have the one little spot. And as you can see, it's very, very simple. But the game, as it goes on, gets complex where sometimes you're playing at night, or sometimes you're playing with like a swimming pool, so you have to have like water plants, and then there's zombies that use different tools, and it just gets much more complex as it goes along. So right here, there's still just basic zombies attacking. But now it introduces the sunflower. Now, just as you can get sunlight that falls from the sky, you can also plant the sunflowers to harvest more sun energy. And you can see there's also kind of a cooldown timer when you put down a plant before you can put down another one. And so far it's still pretty basic. I only have just the sunflower and the pea shooter, but there's dozens and dozens of plants that you can unlock. Now, I haven't played this game in a little while, but it's very, very simple. And even when it does get a little bit more complex, it still doesn't get too difficult. It's very much just a fun kind of game. So as you can see, even though they're still just the basic zombies, whenever they hoard up like that, they can make it a little bit tougher. Though luckily, it's still pretty basic. I only even have 3 rows to defend. So, again, very, very simple. As you play through these first couple of levels, it slowly unlocks more and more plants. This one's the cherry bomb. Blows up all zombies in an area. And now some of the zombies have the cones on their head, which gives them extra protection. Very different type of spooky game. This is one that it's very relaxing. You know, it has this like just a puzzle strategy game. And it does kind of become a resource, challenge where you want to know how much you should spend on defense or how offensive you should take. Is it better to plant a bunch of sunflowers and then collect the sunlight energy quicker, but that potentially puts you at a bigger risk where you can't protect yourself when more zombies come? So it's kind of a trial and error, especially when you're first starting, figuring out exactly what the right balance is. Now see, since he has that cone on his head, it protects his durability quite a bit. You see how much closer he's able to get before that cone comes off. So it looks like with the cones, I'm going to have the pea shooters on these rows, because the two of them weren't strong enough to take down the one cone before he got to this row. But even if your defenses do get all the way taken down, if the zombies are able to burn through your entire row, you still have these lawnmowers at the back, and so when a zombie reaches that lawnmower, it'll mow down any other zombies that are also in that row. So even if you do completely mess up and the zombies are able to penetrate, you still kind of have a failsafe right at the end. Also, this new plant that I have, the cherry bombs, I'll wait for the horde to show up, but you use them as a mine, and they'll explode all the zombies in a specific area. So once that final wave shows up, I'll plant that so you can get an idea what that is. Wait till the zombies come out of the bushes. And now. Kaboom! Now, this new plant that we just unlocked is one that I use all the time. He is kind of what stops the zombies from being able to keep pushing through your defenses. He blocks off zombies and protects your other plants. That's the walnut. So again, just regular zombies and some with some cone heads. But I do have all 5 rows now. So one strategy that I like to do, like I was mentioning before, was trying to put down as many sunflowers as possible, even at risk where I won't have any defenses, just because when you have the sunflowers planted, it allows you to get more resources quickly. So for now, I know I'm going to have to stall, so I'm going to put the walnut up there. Alright, so now the next 100 I will put as a shooter. If it's on the same row, it'll be right behind that walnut, so there we go. It was lucky for me. If it had been on a different row, I would have put the shooter on whatever row the zombie was coming without the walnut protecting it. Now, I put the walnut down there because if you notice, the recharge time on the walnuts is a lot slower than it is on the other plants. So even though I didn't actually need him right there, I put him down, and I'll basically make the same defenses in each column. That's just a way that I like to do it. Occasionally there'll be some plants that you'll need maybe just one of, that you won't need an entire row of, because there are some there's some pea shooters, for instance, that shoot out as like a spread, so you don't need them in every single spot. You can, but you don't have to do that. Now, I might have planted this pea shooter a little too late, and that zombie might get to him. So if I wanted to, I could plant the walnut before he got there, but his head was blown off. Now this guy is eating a walnut with nobody shooting at him, so I need to put one there. That top row doesn't have a pea shooter, so I'll put one of those down. And now I'm going to alternate between the pea shooters and the walnuts. Since I don't have any other plants to diversify my defense with, I'm just going to have a staggering line of defense. But that's what makes this game a lot of fun, is that there's many different ways you can play it. You may discover that there's one plant that you particularly like, even if it's not the most strategic, but just because you enjoy launching a catapult-style attack. That might be the weapon of choice that you use for every single round. I played this game for many hours, and it's just very relaxing. There's actually a garden, too, that you just water plants, and again, zen is probably the best word for it. Well, normally whenever you have rounds that go on for... because there's actually like a limitless, like an endless version of the game that you can unlock. And so you're... like on this one, after this final wave is over, it just ends. But on the endless one, it keeps going forever and ever. So right now I've kind of stockpiled up with my sun resources. I've got 2,000 sunlight now, which when the round ends, that won't be for any good use. But I kind of always play with the same strategy, regardless of the method I'm playing. So even though this is just one of the first couple of levels, it still has the old habits. I just kind of fall back on the same thing that I always do. But I guess I'll go ahead and stop it there. Again, I'm doing my spooky game month where every day I play a different horror game, and I wanted to show off something a little bit more light and fun. This was Plants vs. Zombies. Specifically, this was the 360 port, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye.